Hello, I'm back in the local history room today at the Ogdensburg Public Library. And as you walk in the door, we looked at this shelf last time. And these were a lot of resources from Ogdensburg and nearby towns. Today we're going to continue down this left wall and we're going to go to the next bookshelf. If you go into this bookshelf, you'll see that there are some military records here, some things about the Huguenots, which were French Protestants, and also the Jesuit papers. So if you're interested kind of in general history, these are some great books of general history of the area when the French occupied it. And as we go down, actually to the other side here, you'll see this is a book I've used quite a bit. A list of pensioners on the roll in 1883. So these would be people who are receiving pensions. They might be widows of soldiers. They might be the soldiers themselves, and that's really handy. The other thing that I wanted to point out here, that there are also yearbooks from the Sons of the Revolution. So these are really nice to use if you're doing some genealogy. And if you're really interested in transportation, like railroads, for example, there's a whole series here on the Rutland Railroad. There's also some books on the beginnings of the New York Central Railroad. So if you're into railroads and that kind of thing, there's some really good resources here. The other thing I wanted to point out is they do have some books about the ships that our ancestors would have taken. And there's some really nice examples here. This is a really cool book. Now, some of this stuff is online and some of it isn't, and some of us don't have great internet access. So it's really great to be able to use resources where you don't need access to a computer. And then this is a really nice topographical atlas. So these are all of the towns in St. Lawrence County, and the year in this one is 1865. So you can look at the towns, and what I really like is that it shows actually who was living at some of these places. So this is the town of Oswegatchie, and then the other one here is Ogdensburg, with an H, I might add, the old spelling. And it tells you who was living at these different places on the map. So if you're looking for an ancestor or you're just curious about local history in general, it's a really great resource to use. So continuing around the room here, I showed you the microfilm last time. So if you don't have internet access, you don't need it. You can still use the newspapers. They just happen to be on microfilm here. There's also church records, so those are really great to use as well. And if we continue on, I'm going clockwise in the room now. You'll see that there's some histories of new paltz in those areas. And if you have German Palatine relatives or Dutch, you might find some interesting materials here. And there's also these really nice little books about French Canadian ancestors. There's a whole series of these, and I really like these because they give you a little snapshot of your relative. There were not very many people who actually emigrated to Canada or New France, so there's only a few thousand, and they've put these nice little snapshots of these people who came, and so you have a little biography about each one. I think they're pretty cool. Very short, only a few pages. Here's one about Pierre l'Abbé. And I kind of like these. So I have used these quite a bit. And then there's also the Daughters of the American Revolution. All their lineage books are here. So here they are. And there are shelf after shelf after shelf of those. So if you're interested in the American Revolution, you think you have an ancestor that fought in that, these are a great resource for you. And then as we go down, we can see that there are some records for Irish immigrants. Now, this being St. Patrick's Day, everybody's Irish, but there are a lot of us in the North Country who are Irish. So there's some really good resources here on that. And then if we continue around, you'll see there's more in the Mohawk Valley. So if you're Palatine, Dutch, you might be interested in that. And there's some genealogies around here as well, and quite a number of them here. And I'm only showing you a tenth of what's actually in this room. And the great thing about it is free. You just sign in at the main desk And all of these resources are here for you to use, and you can stay as long as you like using them. And I will continue next time, and I will share more of what's in the local history room.